Computer keyboard shortcut commands. I went over this a little bit, but now I'm going to go in depth, and you can actually see how I make things easier on myself in this setup. Each DAW has a very comprehensive reference of what the shortcut commands are. It may not be obvious right away, but you can find them pretty easily, I bet. I don't even know where the ones are in Reaper, but I'm just going to go in here and check it out. Look, there's a thing that says key bindings and mouse modifiers. I'm going to go Shift F1, it says. Look at that. They've got this whole file that's living on your computer that tells you how to do pretty much everything. So real quick, I'm just going to open up this project I was showing you earlier, Little Things, the song that I was working on. Okay, so the section at the top says mouse wheel modifiers. So I just go in here, and that does exactly what you think it does. Your mouse wheel, your little wheel on your mouse here, if you're using a trackpad, there's probably a little bit difference with what the gestures are, but I'm sure you can do all this stuff in there as well. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to see, okay, so by default, just the mouse scroll wheel. Looks like it compresses and expands my tracks depending on where my playhead is in the timeline. So I can click over here, scrolls in, click over here, scrolls in. This is just my mouse button I'm using, my middle mouse scroll wheel that I'm using. So it's really easy to get around this interface just using that. And that's just one command. So let's go over and check out some other ones. So we got control view vertically. So let's see what that does. So if I hold down control, what's that going to do? That's going to compress the height of all my tracks. So it's really important to try all these things and just see what they do. Because sometimes it's not obvious what they say in the manual. Like, I didn't know what zoom vertically really meant. It didn't work until I tried it. So, but that's really cool. Like, that's actually a command I use all the time. All right, let's go to another one. Control, or let's see, Alt. So holding Alt and using the mouse scroll button. Let me go over here and see what that does. Hold down Alt and... Okay, so this, when you hold down Alt, it actually moves you along the timeline. So if I were to zoom in and then hold down Alt, it scrolls me back and forth along this timeline. Very cool. And then it says Control Alt, scroll vertically. Interesting. All right, so let's scroll vertically. Control and Alt at the same time. Hold those two down. Look at that. That just scrolls the whole thing. So it doesn't compress the size of the tracks. It doesn't move left to right. It's a completely unique command just by holding down those two things at the same time. And I'm scrolling up and down. This is such a much easier way to navigate than it is. The other way you could do this is you could go all the way to the right side and grab this little bar here and then scroll down or scroll back. But again, you're moving your mouse, you're moving your mouse, you're moving your mouse. You do that 1,000 times, you're gonna destroy your wrist. A lot of this is about ergonomics and speed. Again, the efficiency does matter when you're talking about nuts and bolts of just using the software. These three commands I use all the time. I use my mouse wheel so much that actually I kill the battery on this little wireless mouse probably once a month. So I have to get like 2 AAA batteries. I get AAA batteries from Costco just so I can replace them all the time. Obviously the commands are a little bit different if you're on a Mac. I'm just showing you what this command reference is showing me because I have a PC install and it uses this shortcut list for my installation. So it's going to be different for you on a Mac, but do the same thing. Go through and look at this list of things and how things work. All right, there's still some more. We haven't even gone through all the mouse modifiers yet. It's important to remember that these are defaults. These are what's built into the program. Reaper has a really cool way to make your own shortcuts and make your own commands. Really elaborate stuff you can get out of this software. Most people aren't gonna use it, but the possibilities are there and the flexibility is really nice if you need it. All right, so let's try Control Shift. All right, let's go Control Shift. Control Shift, what does it do? Oh, look at that. So Control Shift actually takes the track that you are selected on and scrolls in and out on that track specifically. So that's really helpful if you need to get down to the nitty gritty. I'm scrolling without the Control Shift right now just to get into like a zoomed version of this sound file. And I'm gonna go right in and I'm gonna see, you know, it starts to break down a little bit. All right, this is great. So now what if I wanna just expand this more? So I can just keep going and keep going and keep going. Look at that level of detail. Like you can just get right in on that. Then there's another, command that I would use in this case if I was really getting into audio editing and say I really needed to get like some fine edits on this. I would say, all right, I need the whole screen here. So I know this command already, just Control M. Control M actually toggles the mixer on and off in Reaper, which is awesome. I'm sure it's Command M in the Mac. I can do so much more. You can see so much more, especially some of these commands I already use. Control Scroll. I'm going to compress all these tracks together so I can see my entire scene all at once. Navigating this view is critical. Being able to get through your arranger quickly without having to grab the bar and drag it with the mouse back and forth. So much easier, so much more fluid. These are just the mouse modifiers. This is the beginning of this reference. This reference has, look at all these commands, hundreds and hundreds of commands. It's totally overwhelming. I don't know what 90% of these are, but the ones I need, I can figure out really easily. Take the time and learn the shortcut commands for your DAW that are the most simple, most basic. A lot of people have cheat sheets out on the internet and they'll tell you exactly what the most important ones that you would need are. Shortcut commands on this guy here, like if I'm using the machine software, the shortcut commands are the buttons that are on this thing. So it's so much easier to use a piece of tactile equipment than it is to menu dive and click on things. And that's the difference between having something that's intuitive and tactile and having something that's a mouse clicking around. And there you are, stuck in your office job all day. It's definitely a good idea to invest the time to learn shortcut commands and to create your own and figure out how your individual DAW does that.